league on EA Sports. And if it's in the game, it's in the game. It's the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Cincinnati Bengals. And it's coming up next on Madden Football.
Let's go, baby.
From the banks of the Ohio River, there's a look at what's now known as Paycor Stadium here in Cincinnati. Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis, thrilled to be with you from the broadcast booth. And, partner, before we get this thing started, what are you going to be watching?
Who gets off to a fast start? In horse racing terms, they talk about catching a flyer out of the gate. Who sets the pace and makes the other team chase?
Here now is Cam Little out to get us started. And we are underway from Cincinnati. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. Here come the Bengals, and CD, of course, it's Joe Burrow out of LSU at quarterback.
Hey, we all love a good story, and what we like even more, guys who can fight through adversity. Joe Burrow coming out of high school, goes to Ohio State, doesn't get a chance to start, transfers to LSU, not thought to be a top prospect, ends up the #1 pick in the draft, and justifies it. Tremendous play, excellent mobility, and leadership off the charts.
And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4.
It's vitally important to wrap him up immediately because if you let that big guy get a head of steam up, boy, then you've got real trouble trying to get him down.
But they're able to hold him to a short gain on first down. 2nd and 6, just inside the 30. Now it's Burrow. Man open, that's Jamar Chase complete. And Chase going to pick up a Bengals first down as he'll be brought down at the 38-yard line. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues.
Well, this is where reading defenses and practice time comes into play. You've got to know what you're running versus zone versus man and how to run the proper route. And they just executed that one pretty well.
They're passing here, Joe Burrow. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Normally, he's pretty reliable. He usually catches what's thrown to him. On that play, he simply dropped it.
Here's 2nd and 10. Throwing again, it's Burrow. That one taken in by T. Higgins. And he gets us to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. The Bengals passing game finding a rhythm. They've got another first.
Well, that's one way and a good way to get things going offensively. One play in, and they're already on the move. The defense, they're hoping that's not a sign of things to come as this game unfolds.
So in Jacksonville territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. Burrow looking to pass. Now a short one to Gesicki. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch, and it'll be 2nd down. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn it into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1.
In today's NFL, you hear all the time about stretching the field and creating space in order to run plays. A toss play will help accomplish that because now you're pushing a defense to chase you all the way to the edges and to the sideline. That's a nice run, probing now early to try and get things done later.
He needed a yard. That's exactly what he got. Earns him a new set of downs.
Well, that's the way you want to get an opening drive going, right? Because so often it's a tone setter. And I think even better when you're able to pick it up and convert with a running play. Because the last thing you want to do is play what I call rocket football. 1, 2, 3, kick.
Now it's Burrow. Now a short one to Gesicki. So they'll get nothing out of that play, and it's second down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. Now a 2nd and 10. Out of the gun, it's Burrow. That's taken in by Higgins. Takes this to the 32, maybe the 31. Defensively, they rally quickly after the broken tackle. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up. And he's already got 2 catches on the opening drive. They know he's going to be a handful.
And sometimes you game plan for that offensively. You want to make sure that guy touches the ball, and sometimes it just happens naturally. And then you change your game plan. When he has the hot hand, you keep going back to him because he's running routes with confidence as the game goes on.
And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Jaguars' 18. The Bengals passing game finding a rhythm. They've got another first.
How about a nod to the sequence of plays they're putting together here? This has been death by 1,000 paper cuts on this drive. But this is one of their best plays yet, and they're able to move it down into the red zone.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. Open man is Yoshivas. Down he goes at the 10 with a solid pickup of 8. And the pocket's been protected pretty good here so far on the opening drive.
We always talk about confidence in runners and catchers and quarterbacks. How about the protection detail? They're not allowing anyone near the guy throwing the football.
2nd and 2, first down marker at the 8. And Burrow going to throw again. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Bengal TD. It's T. Higgins with a touchdown pass from Joe Burrow. And the Bengals get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. Personally, for him, a great opening drive. He had 3 catches, including the touchdown.
That felt like tremendous scouting, great film watching, and creating a game plan to start this off, not only to get him involved, but to send a message to the defense. You can have a lot to handle in this one.
Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. That one in the books as a 12-play drive. And it was T. Higgins who capped the drive with the touchdown reception. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. So here are the Jags now set to get their first drive. They're led by the #1 overall pick in the 2021 draft, Trevor Lawrence.
The word is potential, potential, potential. Think about this guy from the time he was in high school, one of the top prospects going to college, coming out of college, mentioned as a generational type quarterback. He looks the part. Tall, big arm, surveys the field. It can take off and run when under duress.
And Thomas has it. And they're able to get this one across the 35. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick first down.
Defense gives up a touchdown on the opening drive. Offense, you got to want to get out there and get those points back right now.
And that's a sharp throw there to get this drive off to a good start. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Now Lawrence. A short throw taken in by Long. And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
Ball on the 39. Here's the 2nd and 8. And a pretty good burst there as he'll get this across midfield and down to the 46. Really good effort. He does it himself, picks up 15, also picks up the first down.
How about that there? No frills, no additives, right? Nothing crazy. Just find a way to pick up the first down. A nice run right there.
Now Lawrence. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete.
Nice progress down the field was halted by that incompletion. They could try for some safe yards here to get things moving again, or keep throwing it and pushing it downfield to try and pick up bigger yardage.
2nd and 10. They'll run for the first time with Travis Etienne. They'll get only a couple down to the 44.
Early down stuffs will put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority one.
And now on 3rd down, they'll need to get it to the 36 to pick up the first. Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon.
The offense knew it. They were already starting to walk back as that one is accepted.
So the false start certainly doesn't help matters as they'll try again now. 3rd and long. Lawrence will throw. They'll try and set up the screen to Etienne. And he gets this only to the 44-yard line. Not near enough to keep the drive alive. He did his best to just get 4 out of that, but not enough. And now 4th down.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
On 4th down, on is Logan Cook to punt.
Charlie Jones deep for Cincinnati.
And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. Here's Burrow setting up to throw it.
Open man is Chase, complete.
And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Ready for the second quarter from Cincinnati. It's the Bengals with the football here.
Ball on the 30 now. Here's 2nd and a couple.
Play action. It's Burrow. Now a short one to Gesicki. Catch number 4 for him on the afternoon, and it'll give him a first down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Credit to tackle there to Jordan Lewis.
Look, all any running back wants is a little bit of room, a little bit of space in order to maneuver. But he also understands how difficult it is for his offensive line up front. So if they give him any space, he realizes his job to make more out of it than what they give him. Picks up 3 on that carry.
And he'll take this one for about 4 up to the 40.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you've got to continue to try and run and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean or else he'll just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
They'll come up now 3rd and 3. Burrow will throw. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have a Bengals first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first. So in Jacksonville territory now. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 47. Now a give left side, Brown with it. And they'll get this just to the 47. 1-yard gain.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
In motion, the tight end. Here's Burrow. Now a short one to Gesicki. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain.
I know the halftime's approaching, but I don't think he's going to want to take a break. That's his 5th catch.
Yeah, they've really been targeting the tight end. And this offense on third down today, a perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. This time they face a 3rd and 2. He's going to be a yard short. Needed 2, but only got 1. 4th down.
Well, they picked up a portion of it, but not all that they needed. Now that leads to a decision on 4th and 1. Let's see what they decide to do.
So on 4th down, out is Ryan Rico to punt.
There, this punt will go out of bounds. I think it'll be inside the 25, and it will. Right at the 24-yard line is where they'll spot it. So time to see Jacksonville again on offense for the second time here in this game.
The last series for him, a little disappointing, forced to punt. And now they'll try to do better here and come away with some points as they begin this drive. 1st and 10.
And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. First play of the drive going for 14 and a 1st down.
Well, I tell you, there is no antidote for speed, even at the quarterback position, as he keeps it himself and turns it into good yardage.
And it still takes time for a defender to react, even as quarterbacks carry the ball more and more in today's NFL. They're still a little bit in disbelief and realize, oh my goodness, he's running with the ball. He may be 8, 10, 12 yards downfield at that point.
And a good job of just fighting through one tackle there to pick up about 3. 2nd down coming up.
Not a huge carry there on 1st down, but not all of them will be. But still, all in all, a positive play for the offense. It's all about picking up at least a few to set up what you're going to do here on 2nd down.
From the 41, here's a 2nd and 7. Off the play fake, here's Lawrence. Got a man, it's De'Ami Brown, complete.
And he's got another 1st down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals' 38-yard line. That good for 21 yards on the catch and run.
And it's a real luxury when you have a guy who can turn a short throw into a solid gain at any moment. Once he caught that ball, he ID'd where the open grass was and got there in a hurry to pick up a new set of downs for his offense.
So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 at the 38.
They go play action now. Lawrence. And that is going to be incomplete as he led him a bit too much.
Well, they've been back on their heels a little bit here on this drive, but a chance to exhale just a little bit there with incompletion on 1st down. Now they have to gear up, try and get 2 more stops, and escape this drive.
They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10.
Here's Lawrence to throw. Open man, this is Brenton Strange, the tight end.
And he's got another 1st down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals' 23. That one a pickup of 15 for Jacksonville.
Well, there wasn't much of a window there, Charles. Had to deal with a couple of defenders, but able to find his big tight end.
And, partner, we know double coverage is a challenge for any player to try to defeat. But maybe it's a little easier if you're one of those big tight ends because you have a size advantage on just about anyone trying to cover you.
And he's going to be taken down here. A sack back at the 32.
Trey Hendrickson showing off his pass rush repertoire that time. But defensively on the previous play, they gave up a pretty good chunk of yardage, but right there, they got a good portion of it right back.
And if we just flip it around from the offensive perspective, took a nice step forward, and how about a couple of leaps backwards after that play? They've got to figure out a big call coming up here to try and gain that yardage back.
Two minutes on the clock, 2nd quarter, 7-0 ball game. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19.
Looking to throw, Lawrence.
This is caught. It's Brown. And he's got another 1st down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals' 13-yard line. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
What a drive this has been, just chewing up the yardage. And here's one of their best plays yet as they finally get down into the red zone and look to finish this off with 6.
Now Lawrence to throw. Got his man. It's the tight end Strange with it.
Short completion, just 4 yards, and that's going to bring up second down.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle?
And he takes it in. Touchdown, Jacksonville.
Trevor Lawrence.
A 9-yard touchdown run.
And the Jaguars are on the board here in the final minute of the first half.
Nothing like understanding where your escape hatches are as a quarterback. Here he's looking, but he knows he doesn't want to force anything. So when nothing avails itself, he slips past the rushers, takes it right up the middle, and takes it into the end zone.
Now the extra point try forthcoming. It's up and good, and we're tied at 7 here in quarter number 2. A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all.
And it was capped off by Trevor Lawrence taking it in himself.
So all even at 7 now as they kick it away.
And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. The Bengals going to take over late in this first half. And they've got a little under 40 seconds to go if they want to try to put something together here.
Now it's Burrow. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Partner, what we're seeing so far is a defense is certainly coordinated. Both levels doing their jobs in tandem. The back helping the front helping the back. The pressure got home on that last play and forced him to try and throw through contact and short of the sticks.
Now Burrow. Got him in. It's Brown. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. They're passing here. Joe Burrow.
He's going to have the hook up here to Chase.
The Bengals going to use the second of their timeouts. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime.
This 2nd and 4.
From midfield now, Burrow.
Another one into the hands of Jamar Chase.
Now the Bengals going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. From the shotgun, it's Burrow. Jaguar pressure and a Jaguar sack.
That is Joshua Hines-Allen working his way in for the sack.
So a touchdown apiece. That's what we have to show at halftime as they head to the locker room. 7-7 our score. As we'll send you down to Orlando and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
We thought this one would be a close battle coming in, and we have not been disappointed. They're all even to this point. This has the feeling of a game that could go right down to the wire. One mistake or one big play could turn out to be the difference.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always. This one's still anyone's game as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. The Jaguars ready to get going to start quarter number 3. Well, the first half, very even. I mean, really, in all facets, this ball game tied, Charles. So as we start the third quarter, curious to see what the second half brings us.
Certainly am. I'm with you on that.
Got a man. It's caught inside the 10. Touchdown, Jaguars. Brian Thomas, 75 yards. And the Jags come right out of the locker room and score here in the opening minute of the third quarter.
I don't think you can get any more efficient or tidy, whatever word you want to use in that, man. One play, 75 yards, end zone.
Yeah, efficient, tidy, excellent words. How about explosive? 75 yards, one play. That means everyone handled their assignment, doesn't it? It doesn't just mean that the defense broke down. They really executed the way that was drawn up on the whiteboard. Big-time play, big-time result.
Extra point right down the middle, and that makes the score 14-7. One of the shortest drives you'll ever see. One play, 75 yards, 6 points.
Here's the Jaguar kick team now as they run up and send this one away. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29.
So here are the Bengals now as they get their first possession of this second half.
And this game was all square at halftime, but now they find themselves down 7 following the opening drive touchdown here in the third quarter.
And they need to take a good, relaxing, deep breath, don't you think? Because right now they might start to feel like they've got to play catch-up here and start matching them point for point. But it's still too early to get there. They can still run their offense. Plenty of time to get back in this game.
And his play caller does a nice job of giving him an easy throw to start this drive, and he takes advantage of it. The completion sets up a manageable second down.
From the 35, here's 2nd and 3. From the gun, a give to Brown. Room here to run. And good running there as he'll take this all the way up to midfield.
They'll get 14 on that one. Good for a Bengal first down.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
They go right back to the ground here, and Brown. And not able to break away this time as they're going to stop him right around the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw.
Got a man open. It's Chase.
And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Jaguars' 34-yard line.
Now we're going to get a timeout here for an injured player, and that's Jamar Chase, who is in some obvious discomfort right now. While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Burrow looking to pass.
Out of his hands quickly to Higgins.
And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game. And it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. They snapped that at 1. Now it's Burrow. Over the middle, complete. That's Jones. First target, first catch, and a first down. Throwing again, it's Burrow.
And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's second down.
In the red zone, precision is the watchword. If the throw's a little too early, too late, maybe off a little bit, going to be a good chance that any attempt is going to be a contested one, and that one falls incomplete.
Now it's Burrow. He'll get this to his tight end, Gesicki.
And the Bengals are looking at first and goal as he's tackled all the way down at the 2-yard line.
It's all pretty simple sometimes, isn't it? Go where the defenders are not, and he does exactly that. Makes a nice catch to move the chains. Defense, got to find a better way of accounting for the shorter routes that are being run against them.
Here's Burrow setting up to throw it.
That's complete. Once again, it's Gesicki.
Touchdown! Mike Gesicki, a 2-yard touchdown grab.
And the Bengals are an extra point away from drawing level. So a strong drive here to lead off this third quarter. That has them an extra point away from tying things up.
And, partner, this is pretty much what they envisioned when they were sitting there in the locker room thinking about getting things going to start here in the third quarter. Getting out there, a field goal would have been fine, but going ahead and scoring here, an extra point away from tying things up, that's exactly how they drew it up on the board.
McPherson now for the extra point.
And we've got a good one brewing. We're all knotted up at 14. That time, a 9-play drive.
And it all concluded with a touchdown pass to the tight end, Mike Gesicki.
So a tie ball game here as the kick's away.
And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30.
And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go.
Well, partner, you know, coaches always say that every play is designed to score a touchdown. Sometimes that's not really true, but last drive, that was the case. One play to get into the end zone, and now they'll try to duplicate that success here.
And it's rare for those moments to happen. Incredible when they do. And you saw the celebration. Pure, unbridled joy after that one.
Second down and 6 now. Lawrence. That's complete to the rookie from Colorado.
First target, first catch, and a first down.
On first and 10, it's Etienne.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
Here's Lawrence. This ball caught by Strange.
And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. A gain there of 21 yards.
This is going to be a corner route to their tight end, and I'll tell you what, it's man coverage, so that makes it hard for a linebacker to stay with him. And he's able to make the catch on the right side of the field and pick up the first down.
So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line.
On the counter, Etienne.
And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
.38-yard line, 2nd and 9. Now Lawrence.
He turned that into a nice gain. Gets him 8 yards closer for 3rd down.
Oh, partner just a second earlier, and they might have had him because they certainly thought they were going to close in and drop him behind the line of scrimmage, but he had just enough time to dodge the pressure, and he ends up getting yardage before being stopped.
This will be play number 7 on the drive. 3rd and a yard.
They'll run with Etienne.
And he's able to pick up the first before he's taken down at the 27.
Brandon, what were they thinking on defense there? That looked like they were playing for the pass. That was 3rd and short. Yeah, it was an easy pickup because they handed it to him. That was way too easy.
Just looked like absolute confusion defensively. Not sure why they were in that set.
Yeah, I'd say you ought to have a few men in the box there.
Lawrence will throw.
Pressure applied, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back at the 33-yard line. He couldn't get rid of it. He takes a sack for a loss of 6 to bring up 2nd down.
We've seen him escape similar situations earlier in the game and get away for pretty good yardage. At that time, they get him down.
Yeah, they've had enough evidence that he can get away and run for good yardage, haven't they? That time it felt like, okay, enough of this. Let's play it the right way and get him on the ground before he does any damage.
He completes it to Hunter. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down. We have played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back now in Cincinnati. All square, 14 apiece to score as we get ready for the 4th quarter. They'll bring a receiver in motion left.
From the gun on 3rd down, Lawrence.
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down.
Trey Hendrickson picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
You know, on these types of plays, we're always looking to assess blame. Okay, where did it break down? Sometimes it's just a great play.
So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming. This to break our 4th quarter tie. And this is right down the middle as he puts it through, and they take a 17-14 lead.
So he waited on the sideline for his first chance in the ball game, and it didn't come until the 4th quarter, but he connects there. A big one to give him the lead.
Boy, you talk about coming in cold. I don't care how many times you kick it into a net. You're not really ready when you go out there and all that beef is coming at you trying to block the kick. Big spot, and he delivers.
Oh, a good-looking return set up here. A solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32. The Bengals offense and Joe Burrow getting set for this next drive. And we'll take you through some of the highlights here. You'll notice he had a hand in a lot of them so far. He's got this offense rolling right now.
The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive.
And now they find themselves trailing following the field goal. Still a good amount of time in this 4th quarter, but this drive very well could determine the outcome of this ball game.
Only able to gain a couple there, and that will bring up 2nd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
This is Brown going up the middle. He'll get about 4 as he's past the 35 to the 38-yard line. The completion on 1st didn't get much, and now the run on 2nd doesn't get a whole lot either.
Well, if you're a good play caller, you've already looked ahead and anticipated this type of situation. Already down on his play sheet, trying to dial up a big 3rd down play.
From the gun on 3rd down is Burrow, and that will be incomplete.
How about some applause for the defense there? They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a 4th down. Well done.
The Bengals bring out their punter now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. That'll be a 41-yard punt, just 1 yard on the return. And the Jaguars go on offense, first down and 10.
Jacksonville back on offense and ready to take over. Their defense got the stop, forced the punt, and now you really start to monitor the clock as they nurse this slim lead. Now ETN to start the drive.
And he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up.
Good push from the offensive line, and they've done well so far to build this lead. Now they've got to get things to the finish line, and that's a solid pickup there to begin the drive.
Now a 2nd and 6. Looking to throw, Lawrence.
Over the middle here to Brown. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. 10 yards there, good enough for a Jags first down.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
They couldn't ask for much more to this point in the second half. A gorgeous day, one-score game, 1st and 10 here. And this defense able to plug him up there as he'll get a yard to the 35.
Seems pretty obvious defensively a key was stopping the run game. How have they done it so successfully?
To me, it seems that these guys really did a nice job of paying attention during the scouting report meeting. And you know, Brandon, when they do those, they talk about the top plays that these guys like to run. The best runs for the top running back, those are the ones you focus on and want to take away. And they've done that pretty successfully in this game.
Finding space at the 40.
And he'll get this all the way up to the 42-yard line. A gain of 8 there on the play. And now 1 yard to go on 3rd down.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. He's got his target. That's complete.
And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. It'll be a pickup of 4, good enough to earn him yet another first down.
And that pickup of a first down, that's going to leave a mark because they really needed to stop them there, didn't they?
Oh, so frustrating. Defensively, you're a play away from getting that football back here down late. Tough.
Now they've got to find a way to create a turnover or takeaway. Otherwise, this one will probably get away from them.
And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. Another first down as they call his number again. He's got 15 yards here.
These guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down, stomp down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
So much for being conservative and running that football. So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line.
A give to ETN running right.
And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. And the trend continues here in the 4th like it was in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. But bottom line is he takes care of the ball well for them, so they'll keep handing it to him.
And not even back to the line of scrimmage this time as they're on him quickly once more. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
They're backed up here. Tough spot, needing 11 yards to pick up the first. Now Lawrence to throw. Got his man. It's the tight end Strange with it.
And a good job defensively. They stop him short of the first at the 32. So 8 yards on the completion there. And that'll bring up 4th down. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
And this will split the uprights. It's right down the middle, and they stretch the lead to 6. It's 20-14 now. So they get to 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now because they'd feel a whole lot better about their position.
And a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down.
And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. So Burrow and the Bengals down 20-14, 2:05 to go. They'll have one play here just north of the 2-minute warning. Now it's Burrow. Now a short one to Gesicki. And he'll be taken down after a pickup of about 7 as the clock will stop here for the 2-minute warning. So the Bengals in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They come up on a second down now in a game that looks like it's going to go down to the wire. From the shotgun, Joe Burrow. Oh, and that nearly ended it. That should have been intercepted, but he cannot corral it, and that is a lifeline there with third down coming up. Nearly an interception. If that one's picked off, it's over, so a new lease on life, so to speak.
A lot of times when you're in coverage, you're so focused on the man and the coverage that sometimes the ball, if it arrives, it surprises you. That may have happened to him in that situation.
Pass complete to Higgins, and he is going to have the Bengals first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. Now a timeout called for by the offense. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Here's Burrow. And that's into the hands of Gesicki.
But they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
Now 2nd and 4. Now Burrow. Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete. Couple extra defensive backs out there in the dime, and because of that, really not many places to throw the football, if any.
And typically, what would you want to do against that dime?
Run the football.
You want to run the ball, but you can't do it in this situation. Not nearly enough time on the clock. You're having to really navigate against a tough defense presented against you.
Burrow. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. The Bengals going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll get a chance to talk it over after picking up the first down. Burrow. This one complete to Yoshivas.
That completion helps out in a nice way. Now they can take a little bit more time, but guess what? They've got to make sure on their throws that they see it open, not just anticipate it.
Here's 2nd down and 3. To throw, Burrow. Open man is Yoshivas. He has been terrific today, hasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Running flawless 2-minute drill right here. This has been quarterbacking 101 with a flourish.
Final minute, 1 timeout remaining. 1st and 10. Throwing, Burrow. There have been quite a few plays they might look back on and say, we really have hurt ourselves, and that was another example.
And this is late game execution. Everything on the line, so it all has to come together properly. The throw's made. Where's the catch? Got to catch in that spot.
They'll come up now on 2nd down. Now it's Burrow. He'll get it inside the 20, and he's going to get out of bounds with the first down. So an ideal set of circumstances there. They move the chains, and they save that final timeout.
Well, they got the yardage they needed there, picked up the first down, got out of bounds. How about the urgency that they have, as well as the understanding where they are in the field?
Throwing now is Joe Burrow. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. Now the Bengals going to signal for their third and final timeout as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in the game.
Here's second down.
Here we go with Burrow. Now he steps away. Oh, there's that man again. It's complete. And inside the 5 here before he's out of bounds right at the 3.
Well, how about keeping your head about you in this situation? No more timeouts. Finds a way to get out of bounds. Now they can breathe a little bit as they contemplate what to do on the next down.
Here we go. First and goal.
Back to throw. And this is caught. Touchdown. And now they're an extra point away from winning this thing in the final seconds.
Well, that's the one they had to have. Put them in a position where they're tied up, but I got to get out of the way. We still got an extra point that's pretty crucial.
That's right. Just one more element to complete the victory.
And McPherson on for the extra point.
So now with 6 seconds remaining, we get a timeout on the field.
McPherson on for the point after.
And they have got the lead. So that one a 13-play drive in total.
And it ends with a late touchdown in the ever-critical PAT as it is now a one-point game here in the dying embers of what has been a sensational game. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. That's going to be taken at the goal line, and he'll return it. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23.
Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive.
A final shot now for Lawrence.
He's going to let it fly. And this is caught on the sideline. Are the feet in? They are. What a catch.
Well, it took us until the final play, Charles, to officially decide a winner, although on that last play they were so backed up it would have taken a miracle, and they couldn't get that miracle done.
Well, I like how you stayed with it because we both knew that this had to go down to the last play, and neither side was going to exhale until that play concluded because we've seen the improbable before. A couple of laterals, maybe some poor defense on the back end. They might have gone all the way to the end zone. In this case, though, it didn't happen. Perhaps next time.
So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. It's a win for the Bengals as we say so long from Cincinnati.